But I do like how this looks a little bit more
Darker?
yes. And then I also like, what was the other one that I liked? I kind of like this one too. But again, like I said, I don't know based on my hair, because I stopped coloring my hair during the pandemic. Because prior to that I was coloring. And then I think it took me about 2 years to grow out. And then I just left my hair as is natural like this for the last, I guess, 3 years.
Did you have highlights before?
No. I just basically curl my hair.
No, like when you were coloring it before the pandemic.
Oh no, I just did like a single.
Okay.
Yeah, just
and
kept coloring
it out.
Yeah, I was growing it out. But I do like, obviously I've found you on YouTube and seen like the dimension it lived in. So I feel like my hair just looks very one-dimensional. Because it's just obviously the salt and pepper hair.
Yeah.
So I do kind of like how this sort of looks, and I saw some terminology of like mushroom gray. Because I know the pictures I sent before, they're more brown.
Yeah,
I know
they're more brown.
So like I said, I wasn't sure what your thoughts were based on.
Okay. If we do your highlights, they if you don't use purple shampoo, they will fade yellow.
Okay, so I'll just use purple shampoo.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and you'll still see, like, it's not going to be as like perfectly white and silver as like your hair naturally is. You'll see a little bit more warmth compared to your natural gray.
I was just kind of looking at these different, photos. I mean, I guess this one's okay, but it's not as stripy as that, which I don't really like.
Okay, you like it more blended. Do you want the front to be lighter? It looks like you have that.
So again, I'm not sure what you think would be best, because
I think we should just enhance and then like brighten up the ends, because it looks like a lot of those ends are a little bit more solid.
Okay, sure. So like I said, I like some of the stuff that you've done. I don't think I want to do as much the lavender, but like I said, I don't know what options. I'm not familiar. I haven't really colored my hair since.
So you'd rather be that than the lavender? If
oh, like lighter, you're saying?
The
tone of it?
Yeah.
I guess I would be okay with that too.
Okay.
But the other thing too is I feel like I'm darker or tanner, so I don't know what color would like brighten or look.
They both would look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would that be like mushroom brownish?
No, that's gray. I would say that's gray. Okay. Do you like this?
I mean, that one's nice too.
You like the tone of it?
Yeah, or the kind of finish. So it doesn't have the shine.
And then maybe like lighter ends.
Lighter ends, okay. I thought it was really pretty too.
Do you like this? Do you want to do more something like this? I was thinking kind of like this. Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that. So would you say that has some of the brown tones-ish?
Yeah, it does. It's not
ashy.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not more ashy. It's more brown.
More brown. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's still ashy, but the other one's more gray. This is like slight brown.
And you still think this would work with, I guess, with the state of my hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're still gonna see her difference is she has all this dark.
Yeah.
You have all this white. So it's going to look different on your hair. You're still going to see your grays in between the highlights, but at least we can tone somewhere in there. But I would say stick with the more gray because
how much
the brown won't blend as well as a gray would.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that placement where the front's a little bit lighter and then it looks softer there but lighter here.
Okay.
And then darker towards the back.
Okay.
Do you like it? Okay, we can do something like that then. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week I have a new client who wants something that is going to just give her a fresh look. She's feeling like her hair is really just like one-dimensional, and when she originally texted me for a consultation, she sent me a lot of pictures that were more blonde and like kind of like a really light brown, ashy blonde type of look. They weren't really gray at all. But coming with this in-person consultation, we saw more photos that were gray. So I kind of got the vibe that she wanted something that was like an in-between that would just blend really well with her gray, because she's looking to have something a little bit different from what she currently has, make it look like she has something that looks more intentional rather than she just let her hair grow out. So a good in-between for me is going with more of like a beigey gray tone. Now when she leaves today, I am going to make it look ashy, but I want it to fade into more of a beigey tone, so it's kind of like an in-between of the two colors. So for her placement, we are doing my signature gray blending placement. If you're new, I always start in the back. I always do a detail hairline weave around the nape. I did a slice behind above that, and then I'm gonna start taking my mohawk section, as you can see here, and just pretty much slice all the way up. We agreed that the blend that we're going to be doing is something that is more dimensional towards the back, like how she naturally is, and then gradually getting lighter towards the front. The other thing I want to mention too is I saw from her inspo pictures and what we agreed on that we wanted the ends to look a little bit lighter as well too. I generally feel like when the ends are a little bit lighter of a blend, it looks more intentional and looks more like a lived-in balayage placement rather than a grown out just natural gray hair. So after I go in and do her roots more on the dimensional side and then weaving the front a little bit lighter, I will be focusing on creating the ends to pretty much be more lighter so that she has more dimension. And by that I mean that the roots look more dimensional with the different tones that we're going to be putting in with her natural gray, and the ends will gradually get lighter. So as this essentially fades out, it will have a little bit more warmth to her hair, which I did explain in the consultation. And later you'll see the toner that I've chosen and why. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk a little bit about her money piece right now. So since her money piece area is naturally so silver already, I'm just going to go in and weave because I just want to really enhance her hair with this appointment. I'm not really looking to change it a lot. I don't want it to grow out harsh at all. I want this to really last her, and as it grows out, I really want it to grow out and fade really soft, even though it is going to look a little bit more intentional, a little bit more warmer than her natural hair color. So in the front money piece, I did more of a weave. I really want her natural gray silvers to be intertwined with those areas. And then after that, I'm going to connect the money piece with my slices. And as I start doing slices after the money piece, those first few slices are going to be a little bit spaced closer together. But as I section closer towards the middle back of the mohawk, I will start to space these mohawk slices a little bit further apart. And with each slice that I take from starting in the front and working my way to connect towards the back, I start to space it a little bit further apart with each slice. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it look like the front has a brighter blend than the back, and essentially kind of create a blend where the back looks a little bit more dimensional. So now I'm doing the side money piece. So I connect that foil with the temple and right above the ear following the hairline, and I will do a weave there first. And then after that, I'm going to be leaving some negative space in between each of these slices to kind of give a bit of dimension, but also give that effect to where her hair gets lighter in the front. The more diagonal backs that I do off the hairline like this, following that hairline, it really creates that look to where it does get lighter in the front. I feel like when you start to stack the foils horizontally up the head, then you're creating more dimension. But when you're doing a diagonal back right off the hairline on the side here, it does give the effect to where it's lighter. So I did about 3 of those slices before moving on to the actual side. And now I'm doing the actual side, which is going to be connecting the front to the back. And above the ear, I always do a weave. And then after that, I'm going to continue working my way up horizontally up the head, leaving about 1 inch of dimension, similar to what I did in the back mohawk when I first began doing the center section, because I want this part to be more dimensional. And this is going to give that effect to where the back is darker and it gradually gets lighter towards the front. And as I'm doing this too, my assistant is separating the hair in between the foils. I typically like to do this whenever I'm doing like long foils like this, because sometimes if I apply a lot of saturation, sometimes the lightener can like seep through the sides. So I just like to ensure that none of that gets bled onto any other hair. So I like her to separate, and then also she is separating so that I could do her tip outs. So for her tip outs, I am over directing towards the front of the face. I usually like to stand in the center of them as I do this when I start painting, because it gives me a better like position to cohesively paint up the hair and create a more even tip out. And so I'm constantly moving from the right side to the left side to create a more equal pattern of the tip out versus working fully on one side and then doing the fully on the other side, because I never want to feel like one side tip out is higher than the other. So I'm constantly kind of going back and forth to make sure that there is balance. So since her hair was virgin, she of course lifted so beautifully, like a dream, and it lifted to a nice level 9 and 10 overall. You can see it's such a clean lift. I'm using the Danger Jones lightener, by the way, with just 20 volume, and it gave such a beautiful lift on her hair. So now I'm going in and starting her toner, and for her toners I'm using the Danger Jones gloss toners for this. And since we're doing a more like in between of like gray and beigey tones, I'm using the 6-01 for the root shade and applying that vertically on the head to kind of give a more softer diffused shadow root look. And then on the ends I mixed up 9-12 and 6-01 because I know that this is going to initially look gray like the photos that we chose, and then eventually fade out more beigey like the original inspo photos that she showed me when we initially did our text message consultation. So she'll kind of get the best of both worlds with this color, because it will leave looking like the photo that we initially talked about in person, and then also fade into the initial inspo photos that she showed me through text message. Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I feel like this looks a lot more intentional, and the blend definitely gets lighter towards the ends. And as this does fade out, if she doesn't use purple shampoo, it will fade out more golden. If she does use purple shampoo, it will fade out a little bit more of like an ashy blonde, more beigey look. And I love the way that the front blends better now. It looks like it just looks so intentional, like a balayage placement versus just a grown out gray natural look. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.